Sheep, wolves, and watchdogs running around the hobby. Today, we're going to talk about influencers. And are they influencing you? What types of influence are there? Are you going out and buying a card because the guy said, these are the top five? Probably not. But are there other things you're doing because of the influence you're seeing in sports card content, whether it's Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Twitter, or YouTube? Well, I'm going to focus in on a few influencers and kind of call out some of the things that they're just not telling you. We're also going to talk about one of the biggest influencers of all at sports cards, and that is Gary Vee. Now, you're probably going, where are you going with this, Ziggy? Well, sit back, get your popcorn, and we'll get into this. Watch two recent videos. This one from Mike Geo, who basically tells you, and this to summarize it, I don't think he says he's not an influencer, but he tells you how great of an influencer he is, or how positive he is, or whatever. And he talks about how most people aren't influenced and they're not buying cards because somebody said something. He starts talking about another video a few nights ago, and that was on taking stock, where they're talking about influencers and what the impacts of influencers are. And some things that bother me listening in both these conversations is they're not talking about the influence that's still very much going on every day. And I'm going to call out two examples. In this video, Mike Geo will tell you, he'll subtly tell you that he's a breaker. He'll also later on tell you there is great return on investment, great ROI on Bowman Best. It's a great product. All my experience, I've seen a lot of stuff. It is a great product with a lot of ROI. And then a few moments later, he'll tell you, I've got 15 cases I'm breaking. Now, those are sprinkled in his little conversation about buying and breaking and sports cards and, his, in my opinion, very arrogant tower look down approach of the hobby. But it is a perfect example of what this hypocrite is. He is a breaker, which means he makes most of his money on the industry of sports cards. He's never going to disclose things to you that would be hugely detrimental or bad in the industry. Let's say, for example, there really were loaded boxes. He's not going to tell you that because he doesn't want you to know about it, okay? He's not going to tell you about the actual cost of the product. He'll drop some numbers every now and then, but if you knew how much it actually costs and how much he charges you for it, you'd be shocked. Because again, all this guy does is fucking open boxes and send it out in the mail. That's what a breaker is. Pardon me. But he's an influencer more. In fact, he even says he's getting out of breaking more as he builds more content, right? And as he builds more content, what is he getting? More influence. And he's not just getting influence over people underneath him. He's getting influence on people above him. He has the influence of Panini. Panini gave him and his chucklehead buddy 50 free packs of optic NFTs to give away the other day, which I'll be honest, outright pissed me off. I'm a huge NFT fan. I've been into Panini NFTs longer than almost anybody because I was in on the green and red mosaic packs back in June of 2020. Was it 21? Anyway, this guy has monopolized the Panini NFTs. He doesn't let anybody else break. His platform's the only one that can break on. I'm going off on a little side topic here, but he has incredible influence over the hobby, both upward influence and downward influence. That's why, in my opinion, as a watchdog, we need to call out this wolf because his intents are not positive to the hobby. He's not trying to make the hobby better. He's just trying to profit off the hobby. In fact, I'll give you an example. This person is fucking a lot worse than Jeff Wilson because he's doing nothing to make the hobby better. You see what I'm saying? Jeff, whether you like him or not, is trying to make the fucking hobby a little bit better. I don't know if he is or not, but that is something he talks about. I've seen things get better in some perspectives. He's made positive. He talks. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. You weigh the two. Shh. Okay. I'm going to calmly go to the next one. And I'll be honest, I'm not as angry with these influencers. I just think they're, again, being naive when they talk about influence. And they go over here about how I don't believe people are being told to buy cards or not buy cards. If you're buying a card. In fact, the comment Jeremy keeps making is that you can't force somebody to write the check. You can't force somebody to write the check. You can't force somebody to write the check. Jeremy, that's true. But Jeremy, you are a huge, huge influencer. Let me also quickly say, influencer is not a bad thing. It's not a bad word. I am an influencer. I'm trying to get you to freaking think about what I'm presenting to you right now, okay? But Jeremy is a major influencer in the hobby. He has a lot of clout and a lot of connectability, okay? If you are on Jeremy's camp, you're going to get a lot of influence in your behalf. I'll give you an example. Tag is a perfect example of that. First of all, I'll say this too. I'm a fan of Tag. I hope Tag does well. So I'm not trying to knock Tag. But Jeremy coming on the Tag bandwagon, getting involved, investing, being an employee, absolutely has made that company a lot more legitimate in the YouTube community than it ever will be where like an HGA or even, in my opinion, Arena Club. In fact, I will say this. I think Jeremy's influence on Tag is greater. Now, again, maybe you're going to argue with me, than Jeter's influence on Arena Club. Now, the Arena Club influence was he got money. But I'll be honest, Arena Club doesn't have much sustenance to it right now, in my opinion. I don't expect them to survive very long. Tag, again, a lot of technology, great investment on how they roll the program out. They've got a history there. And I'll tell you this right now. I've been influenced by Jeremy. How have I been influenced? I watched his freaking videos. I've done research. I've watched, and here's my point to this, guys. If it wasn't for Jeremy getting involved, I wouldn't have done the research. I wouldn't have watched other people's reviews. I wouldn't have listened to other people's reviews, okay? I personally think that's a perfect example of an influencer influencing others. We all get influenced, right? So when these guys come out and say they don't influence people or they're not forcing you to write the check, it's bullshit, okay? You are influencing us to stay in this hobby, to believe in this hobby, to believe in this in some sense of there's an investment or a play or a collectability, something in your mind that you're using to influence us. And that's fine. I am a counter influencer. Let me just tell you this. Anytime you watch somebody talk to you in a public sense, you have to ask yourself, why are they doing this? Right? There's always some reason, whether it's attention, whether it's monetary, whether it's influence power, there's a reason behind that. Okay. I want to end on the biggest influencer of all. The biggest influencer of all during the sports cards still is Gary Vee. I thought about this a lot. I was going to give it to Jeff Wilson, but it's really Gary Vee. I mean, Gary Vee is the one who really made us realize we can monetize a hobby that is based on gambling and statistics. Okay, and I know that you're not going to like this, but the hobby is the gambling, it has odds and statistics and chances and values and rarity. Here's a video that Gary Vee made. This is funny. He made this 4 years ago, right? And I remember watching this video. And first thing I remember saying is, who the hell is this Gary Vee guy? But he came out. This is what's freaking really ironic. He came out and said, this $300 card will be $800 in 4 years. He's absolutely right. He's talking about the Giannis Prism base. I think it's a Prism base raw card in the video. I could be wrong. You check the video. Maybe it's graded. But if you look at the price of a Giannis today, it's about around $800 raw, or maybe $1,000 graded. But it's in that range. When you think about this man's genius, that's not the point. What this man also did, though, in 2020, was he organized some of the major millionaires. And I'll give you an example. Steve Aoki, who was a DJ who had lots of money looking for things he can invest in. He influenced him. He influenced the dude who's on the NBA and TNT show, who sits with Shaq and those guys. You know what I'm talking about. They haven't come with me. But he influenced him as well. Both those people got involved in sports cards. Both those people had an impact on how hobby grew. Aoki creates MetaZoo. MetaZoo becomes some other product. You know, Steve Aoki probably made a ton of money off that. He also signed a deal with Topps and did Steve Aoki cards back in 2020. He's done sets since then, right? My point is, none of these guys had to go out and buy 50 Lucas at $1,000 and then pump them and sell them at 2,000. That's not how they make money. That is not how they influence you. So stop using that as an example. Oh, he made me boo this. He cost people money. Oh, Jeff Wilson cost people money selling picks. Let me get on that one too. Card Ladder sold picks, by the way, longer than Jeff Wilson did. My point is, the influence isn't at the tactical small level. It's at a strategic level. The influence Gary Vee had made many people millions of dollars off sports cards. Other industries and people who made lots of money, the CEO of collectibles, I'm going to assume for the 3 or 4 years he was there, probably made a healthy salary, probably met his bonus, and probably made a very good living. He didn't care. Well, I'll take it back. It didn't make a difference to him whether cards went up or down in value. He was managing a company that made transactional value off of people in the hobby, right? The CEO of StarStock, I still talk to him every now and then. Nice guy. He's still running StarStock. StarStock could sit there for years, dude. It's got cards in it. People buy and sell. It is residual income. It made someone money. There are a lot of platforms that have made money for others in the hobby, okay? Those were influenced, or we were influenced by them. I was a StarStock fan. I signed up for my StarStock account. I used StarStock. I made money off StarStock. I still have StarStock. Am I telling other people to go out and use star stuff? No, because see, I understand my influence. I understand the power of influence, or at least I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to be responsible about it. Okay. So again, the point of my video is it really irks me. Remember, I'll just say this too: call these chuckleheads out in their live videos. Stay more when they say, "Oh, I'm not influencing," or "I'm just here. I'm pretty," call them out. Let's all just let's admit who we are, okay? And I'll say this too in my closing. I started with sheep, wolf, and watchdogs. That's not who we are all the time. Okay. We wear many masks in our hobby lifetime. Many times I'm a damn sheep grazing. This damn Monopoly. I freaking love it. It's freaking my favorite. I love Monopoly. And other times we're watchdogs. Sometimes some of us put on a little wolf. And that's why I'm here. Guys, hope you like the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Really want your feedback. Have a great day.